Here, my name is Alan Shafer. I've been working with Million Cups for 6 years. I'm on the board. I recently had a hiatus. I was stricken with a gastronomic disease. My cells were not taking in my nutrients. I lost 60 pounds over 6 months, and I'm just now coming back. So this is my emergence back into the Million Cups area. I have a company called Alliant Marketing Solutions and another one called Alliant Management Services. We help companies start up. We help them exceed their previous growth, and we help them build an infrastructure, a marketing plan, all the stuff that goes in it. And we're going to talk about some of that today. Part of that is we have this thing called the Entrepreneurial Academy Lecture Series, made up of 3 parts. One is the strategy. What is the strategy to build a company? We call it the Entrepreneurial Adventures of Robin Hood. My position is that Robin Hood was the first real entrepreneur. And if you look at his band, it looks just like a board of directors and CEOs and CXOs. It looks like a real company. That's a different series. Second one in the series, don't take a knife to a gunfight. If you're going to set up a business, there are 52 things. There used to be 38, and I would bring in a 38 pistol, not a real one, but I can't do that anymore given what's happened. And besides, we brought it to 52, so sometimes I bring in a deck of cards, 52 pickup. 52 things every entrepreneur needs to do in order to be able to either launch his business or get in front of an investor. That's section 2. This is the third section. It's called the execute section. Eagles don't take no for an answer. I spent 30 years at IBM Corporation in sales and marketing, systems engineering, and as chief merchandising executive. One of the things we did was we brought the 10 best salespeople in the country in for a week and went through their minds. They were called the Eagles. We're going to go through that. One of the Eagles who doesn't like to even know that he was one, but I handed him a $10,000 check, so I know he was there. It's a guy named Mark Cuban, trying to sell socks now. I don't know. Anyway, Eagles don't take no for an answer. If you notice on the thing I handed out, everybody sells. I don't care who you are, what your position in your business is. You are selling something. You've got to be ready to do that selling. When we started the IBM retail, personal computer retail business, we had a thing called the Everybody Sells Center, and everybody that we brought in, sales, marketing, administration, service, all of them, everybody went through a sales course. I ran IBM Sales School just before that, so I was able to influence a little bit what they were doing. So we're going to show you some of the things that came out of that experience. Talked about this. Oh, there were 12 worldwide. They soar above the others. What we did was we found out what made them different. Were they after money? How many people think the top 12 salespeople at IBM were there for the money? Anyone? No. What they were there for was the recognition that they could do a job and do it well. It was purely recognition. In my case, it was my mother would finally know what I was doing at IBM. So we're going to try to fly with the Eagles today. Little history. The Rubicon. Everybody heard crossing the Rubicon. People have to be able to understand what challenges they have facing them and be able to step up and say, yes, I can cross that. I can do it. Caesar did it, and he was very good. What it means is a step that irrevocably commits a person to a course of action. If you're an entrepreneur, if you don't have that tattooed in your brain, you might as well give it up. You've got to persevere. I put that on my mirror. It's sitting there on my mirror when I shave in the morning. Some people that met the Rubicon. Caesar did. Sir Walter Raleigh did. He stopped the Spanish Armada. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Constitution. Charlie Goodnight. Anybody know who Charlie Goodnight was? He was the guy that opened the Chisholm Trail to get cattle from Texas up into the railroads, called the Goodnight Trail. Wilbur Wright. flew an airplane. He did it in spite of his brother telling him it wouldn't work. Harry Truman, he had a challenge. Was he going to say yes or no? And he had actually two challenges. Most people only know of one, only remember one. He said, let's drop the bomb. The second one was he was the first main person that voted to accept Israel as a state. Both of those things have affected our lives ever since. Branch Rickey, who knows Branch Rickey? Yes.
He was the owner of the Dodgers that put
Which Dodgers?
the New York.
The Brooklyn Dodgers.
And he brought in
Jackie Robinson.
Number 42. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. John and Bobby. A lot of things they did, but I put them up here because they dealt with Khrushchev and the Cuban Missile Crisis. If it wasn't for them standing, crossing the bridge that they needed to, we would be in trouble today. And lastly, Bill Gates, and I can speak to him personally because I was in the outer room when he offered to sell his Microsoft software to IBM Corporation in Austin, Texas. And IBM, jerk that he was, I won't mention his name, said no. So Microsoft had to suffer. Okay? So those people met the Rubicon. If you are an entrepreneur, be prepared to face Rubicons. And I use a plural because it won't happen just once. It's going to happen each time you do it. One could, if you take our 52 list of things, it breaks down to about 8 or 9 chapters, if you will. And each chapter has a Rubicon in it. If you get through that, you get on to the next one. Eagle's character. What makes an eagle better than anybody else, better than other salespeople, besides this ego of wanting recognition? They have confidence. They know what they do. They know their product. They can present it well. I love this word, audacity. They have the audacity to say, I can do this. I want you to buy this. I really wholly endorse it. Please do it. Audacity. I love audacious people. Relationships. They build relationships. Interesting thing inside of IBM, there were two kinds of salespeople. Still are most companies today. There's salespeople who are knocking on the door looking for somebody new. Then there's people that are taking care of the existing people, the account executives. I was both. I liked being the account executive better. By being an account executive, my second year, I was #1 in IBM in the country. That got me a motorcycle, $10,000, and a job in Atlanta, Georgia, to set up a new division. And I've been setting up things ever since. Building relationships, making sure that people you are working with, you're going to come back to them. You're not just doing buy this and walk away. Perseverance, kind of like crossing the Rubicon. You can't give up. You cannot give up. And enthusiasm. If you don't have some enthusiasm, if you can't be projecting your pleasantness with what you're facing, it's never going to work. What else? You don't take no for an answer. You don't take no for an answer, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Other things in the Carpe Diem, take the initiative. You can't sit and wait for somebody to call you to get something. You've got to go set up initiative. I just sent a note. I've got a client that I'm working with right now. I sent a note to him. He says, how are we going to make any sales? I said, well, we're going to take some initiative. I'm going to go get the list of companies that we're going to go after out of the Orlando Business Journal book of lists. I'm going to go to LinkedIn, find out who all the people are that work that company, and I'm going to send them notes to tell them I'm introducing this new product. Taking the initiative, not waiting for somebody to get back to you. What did I do wrong here?
Just hit escape on the keypad.
You hit the mouse.
Sorry. Thank you.
It let out a little scream.
Be entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial is don't give up. You've got to you've got to take your dream and put it into the form that somebody can follow. That's part of the things that we teach in the 52 pickup. Be motivated. What motivates you? Money? Yeah, we all want to make money. Prestige, sometimes. ego sometimes. In my case, it's just be able to, I'm motivated as an entrepreneur the same way I like to help companies get started. I go back to when my son was 3 and he put him on a 2-wheel bike and I watched him ride his bike down the street. I helped him get there. That's the way I like to work with my clients as entrepreneurs. But every salesperson has to be a manager of all the traits possible. You have to have a little bit of humility. Mark Cuban didn't. Never did. He lasted 1.5 years inside of IBM, and he doesn't even admit it today. Enthusiasm, trustworthiness. If you can't trust the people that you're working with, if you can't trust the ones who are advising you, if you can't trust the ones that you are advising, you're going to be in trouble. Trust is a very key thing. One of the things you don't see on there is one that many of us who counsel entrepreneurs face. That's people who started their business with a great idea and then they want to micromanage it out of their garage instead of setting up a corporation. I see Tim shaking his head. He knows. So all these things, as a salesperson, you've got to be able to handle them. But you are, as a salesperson, you're the seller. But again, I say, everybody sells in your company. If they don't, you're in trouble. Quick, I'm going to run through 7 rules for brand success. What are the 7 rules of success? You're selling benefits, not features. Benefits are what does for them. Features are what you offer. You got to put your head in their eyes. What do they think is going to help them? Not, oh, I have the IBM personal computer and it can do X, Y, Z. I saw a picture of IBM 360. It had 5 megabytes of storage in it. It weighed about 4,000 pounds and had to be, it was as big as a truck. You have to be in the mindset of buying, not selling. You've got to get the person you're talking to want to buy what you have that you're so enthusiastic about, not that you're selling it. As soon, and today, most executives, especially if you start talking to generations, millennials, the Generation Z though, they need to know that they want what you have. They don't want you to want them. They want to want you. Big difference. Listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth, all the things you've heard. Listen, because if you want to be part of this, don't take no for an answer. When they tell you why they're first saying no, you listen to why, and then you can get an objective taken care of. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Pay sincere attention. Be sincere. Rupert is the most sincere person I know. He pays attention to what you're saying, what you're doing. Sean is the same thing, and Tim. We all have to pay that close attention to what people are doing. And it's not just what they say, it's their facial features, their tone of voice. You know, you've heard the thing, you only pay attention to 7% of what somebody says. The rest is all body language and tone. Don't debate. Don't argue. Somebody says something, oh, that's fine. You'll see that. Don't argue. Let them have their opinion. You can change it, but not through argument. Give choices. Never say, do you want this, yes or no? Instead, it's, do you want it yellow, blue, or white? Always offer a choice. It gives them an opportunity to think about it instead of just saying, no, I don't want it. And again, building relationships. That's what we're here about. Okay. So those are the 7 rules for brand success. A sale is always built. You sit down with people, a sale is always made. Either they sell you or you sell them. So let me go quick through. There's only 7 objections. I don't like the price. I don't have the authority to be able to do the work, to make that decision. I got to talk to my wife or my partner. Credibility. Maybe he doesn't believe you. Anybody think salespeople ever lie? Do they really have the need? Is the need really there? You got to determine that, and they'll tell you. Or an objection is, I just can't make up my mind. Indecision. Oh, there's a competitor offered me a better deal this morning. We're not the only ones out there selling our products. Or there's just no. And I put some other words to it, but this is a mixed crowd, so I won't. No, 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 no. Just no. Okay. Are you going to let them rule you? If you're a salesperson and you want to be able to make a sale, there are only 8 responses you can give to, and you can use them indiscriminately to each of the 7 objections. The first one, he says no for whatever reason. Well, that's interesting. Can you share with me why you think that way? He has to continue talking. The whole idea of these handling the objectives is to be able to keep them talking. Number 2. Oh, I can see you giving considerable thought to that. You really made up your mind. You've really thought about it. What are your concerns actually? Oh, I understand. Now I understand why you said no. What is needed for you to reconsider? What do I have to do to give you something else that I haven't done? So, because I understand how you're feeling, what can I do to fix it? Help me, please. What have I missed? I must have done a lousy job. I got up on the wrong side of bed today. I didn't do a good sales pitch. What have I missed? What is it that you need from me that I can do to help you? Obviously, you don't feel confident in my recommendation. What would you need to feel more confident in making a decision to buy me? What can I show you? What can I do for you? Is there somebody I need to call? Do we have to meet with your wife or your partner? What is it that will make you feel more confident? With me, it was easy. I had the IBM name. Now my clients don't have nearly the same cachet. Number 6, I can appreciate I can really appreciate you must have done all this stuff. I totally understand that. What factors led you to feel that way? Tell me, and they'll tell you the 2 or 3 things, and you can deal with each one of them absolutely every time. The last one, you may not think me competitive enough. Maybe I don't have the right price. Maybe I don't have the right product. What is it going on? What more would I have to offer you to be able to get you to think that I am competitive enough? Is it price? Is it service? Is it money? What is it? Number 8, last one. If I could satisfy your concerns, would you be interested in discussing it further? If I could solve any of your concerns, can we keep talking? Anybody here want to be an eagle? Yeah. Yo! Thank you. Questions, comments, whatever. Tim.
I just said it. I tell you, you're back so well informed. This was an excellent. I've never seen this program from you, and I've known you all these years. Excellent job, Alan. I always felt that question about. I've got 3 that I always ask. What more can I do? What less can I do? What can I change for you?
Yep.
Which are definitely easy poses. But thank you.
I reiterate what Tim said, and I love the back of your card.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's on purpose. Yes, sir.
So I was looking at what you were presenting here, and I thought it was really interesting. My impression is that a lot of these things kind of respond to one another. They're not like one-off things. Is it designed to be like dynamically focused like that, or are these things like, can they be standalone, or do they have to be presented all at the same time?
No. Each one is interchangeable, movable, flexible. Use the ones that you need for the person that you're doing. One of the things I tell people, if you're good, you can assess what personality type you're dealing with. If you're dealing with an accountant, the DISC modules.
Yeah.
If you could determine within the first 25 seconds where on that DISC form they form, you'll pick the right questions and the right path to take them down. That's one thing that you really should be doing. Kind of like doing the same thing on a blind date. Yes, sir.
Are you involved in the Golden Circle program for IBM?
Yes.
And we hosted them in the Maui Marriott in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
6 weeks back to back.
Yes.
Opening act with the Beach Boys and then
Yes.
semi-Davis.
I had a friend of mine, Marty Jackness, who's around here. He was the knock on the door #1 salesman. I was the account manager #1 salesman across the country, 8,000 salespeople. Every month, he was #1 total or I was #1 total. We went back and forth. That first year, I came at #1 as an account manager. I got promoted to Atlanta. He got to be #1 the next year and then married one of his clients' daughters and started a candy company. But we went either to Hawaii or Bermuda or someplace else. For the golden circle, top 2% of the IBM salespeople. Yes.
So I have a question. Taking those last lessons from in-person conversations with potential clients now to online marketing, where you don't get a chance to have that conversation, that back and forth. Where would you put your focus on the messaging?
What I would do is to try to get off of just pure generic social media. I mentioned the process that I just sent last night, sent it at 1 o'clock in the morning to my client. I'm going to send him a general thing, find the company, find the executives that are in LinkedIn. Once you get into LinkedIn, you can communicate with them directly. It's just like text. I am a big text proponent. I can talk to people with text and be able to think about what I'm keying. Sometimes it's better than doing it face to face. But the idea is, as soon as you get that connection, you build a relationship, they recognize you, you then go out and say, let me either meet on Zoom or face to face.
Does that answer your question?
I was thinking more for like marketing ads instead of conversations, because a lot of the stuff that gets sold now is through like SaaS products.
Well, if you treat it with a video as opposed to text, and you do it sort of like a podcast, sort of an interview, you can ask these same questions and have somebody answer them. We're doing that with one of our clients right now. Just did an interview with a company. And we're going to be presenting it here sometime soon. She's an artist, and she takes her fine artwork, artists all over the world, and has it printed on clothing, high fashion clothing. And we just did an just like that interview. Podcasts are better to get started with, to answer your question. But you can't avoid pay-per-click. Use organic social media wherever you can. Yes, super.
So can you explain a little bit further the importance of salesmanship for an entrepreneur?
Good question. It goes back to the fact that everybody sells. If you are the entrepreneur, you are the one behind the whole concept. If you can't sell yourself and your concept and your dream, you're not going to be able to make it. You can hire marketing people and administrative people, and they can all do all their work. But if you can't articulate your dream, you're not going to be successful. They will expect you to do that. And by the way, when you hit number 52 on my list, it says, give me $1.2 million to support my business. You better be able to share your dream. That's the last item on the 52. Yes. Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, what you said was amazing, because besides producing my product, I also selling is very important, because without selling, we don't know what I have. So I currently sold in 7 places, so I didn't do too bad. But there are certain times where I had to take a no, because I feel like I'm playing manhunt with these people. Like when I see them, oh, call me in 5 minutes, and they call me, forward my call. I send them an email. I even gave somebody a free cake one time, a free cut. I said, here, let me go. The employees call me like, hey, these people love it. I checked back a week later. No, well, this other manager said no, and I try to talk to them. They always hide in the office. They don't come out. So that's when I accept no, but it still makes me feel uncomfortable, because it's like the ego. I don't take no for an answer. So what would you do in a situation where you can't catch that person?
When it comes down to the final thing, and you cannot move them off of the no, you do just what you just said. I communicate to them. I'll send them a little something just to remind them that I'm still around. One of the guys I knew sent, I swear to God, Marty Jackness, my knock on the door, top salesman in the country. He sent a shoe in a box, brand new, I think Adidas or Nike or something. Sent it to the guy with a note. If I were in your shoes, I would make a better decision than you did for me. And he got the sale. He got in the
We're
door.
about out of time. Alan, our last question is, what can we as a community do for you?
Help the entrepreneurs that are around you. Give them the advice you can. If you've got the experience, please do that. Obviously, let them know that Alliant Marketing and Alliant Management are around. Recommend us to the people that need help. And anytime that you've got a group that you'd like to have any one of my 3 Entrepreneurial Academy things, Robin Hood or the pistol or the card deck or sales, happy to come out and give the presentation to anybody.
Thank you, Alan. Great presentation.
I'd like to.
All right, next we have Jane from the library.
Thank you. I don't need it.
Okay.
Thank you. So good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So great to see everyone here today, and it's wonderful to be able to present the library. Although I have to say I could listen to Alan all day. I love all of his ideas. And just to mention his list, Alan had a list of people who had crossed their Rubicon. So if anyone wants to read biographies, because I think biographies are fantastic and you learn so much and they're so inspiring, the library has a brilliant biography section. So you can go online, or if you go to the main library downtown on the 3rd floor, you go to the right, you pass the business books, the 658s. Those are all the business books, and then the art books, and then the biography section. And it's rows and rows of people throughout time. So they're shelved alphabetically by the name of the person they're about. So if at any time in your life you're thinking, I really need a good book to read, or I need some inspiration, or I need some sort of direction, I would suggest walking to the library and walking through the biography section. I found a book one time on a female pilot that was on a book cart, and I decided to read it, West with the Night, and I thought, wow, I didn't realize women became pilots, and I took flying lessons and I became a pilot. So that's not my talk for today, but in reading his list of fascinating people, there's many more people there. Golda Meir would be one, and she started out as a librarian, just so you know. Really? Okay, so let me get to the library website, and we're going to talk about business today. So there's a lot here, and there's a lot to discover. I want to ask, how many of you have a library card? Oh, yay you! This is a really good group of very smart people. Yay! Okay. So hopefully I'll show you something today that you didn't know about the library. And if there's anything here that you want to know more about, I will be glad to answer questions later. If you don't have a card yet, you can sign up. You can see that right here, new, sign up for a library card. Everyone can see this, right? Okay, so we're going to actually go directly to the databases today, because we have business databases that you can access at no cost with your library card. You can access them right now on your phone if you wanted to. And hopefully I will show you some things that maybe you don't know about and that you can use. So how many of you have used one of our business databases? Okay, so which database did you use?
I'm not sure exactly the business database, but it's a catalog to see what type of businesses around that you can filter if you want bakeries, the mileage around you, and what type of businesses they do. And it was great. It had like 1,500 pages of stuff. I couldn't even do it. I did it one page only.
Okay. Very good. Perfect. And we'll look at how to refine that a little bit. I saw someone else on this side here. Yes. Which?
Same thing. Like not the book of lists, but it
Ref-
has all the information on the different companies.
Maybe Reference USA
Reference
possibly.
USA, that's what it
Okay.
was.
Anyone else use a business database? Alan?
I'll use one. You can go and get annual reports off the database for places that you wouldn't have been able to find it otherwhere else. That gives you some of their business knowledge and tells you who to contact, gives you their names, sometimes even the connections.
That's a good one, Alan. Excellent. Okay, so in the time that we have, I will not be able to show you all of the databases, but we're going to start. So I'm clicking Learning and Research and Articles and Databases A to Z, and you'll see a list. So almost everything that's on this list you can access remotely. The Foundation Center, for those of you who might be interested in applying, for a grant, that is only available inside the library, and that's our agreement with the Foundation Center. So you would come into the library to access that, but you do have full access to that if you come in. So the money is worth it, right? It's worth making a visit into the library. Okay, so to start, I'm going to show you the Business Plans Handbook, and some of you might be thinking, well, I don't need a business plan. I already have a business plan. I've seen this before. I don't have any reason to look at it. Well, I'm going to show you, and then we can go from there, and you can decide. So you can see I accessed this digitally, right? I logged in before with my library card and PIN, and that would be the same thing that you would do. So in other words, the minute you try to click on a database, they're going to ask for your library card and PIN number, and you'll enter it. Okay, so that's pretty easy. We have the physical books, that yellow book that you see. We have that in the library, so for people who want to flip through something, maybe they've been online all day, you can come to the main library and take a look at that. So how do I use this? Well, I'll show you very quickly. We're going to spend just minutes on each of the databases so I can show you some key features. So I remember in a previous presentation here that someone gave a presentation on blockchain at 1 Million Cups. I don't know if some of you were there, but I thought it was a fascinating presentation. So I've just put in blockchain, and we came up with a business. These are real businesses. These are actual businesses throughout North America, and you're going to have full access to the business plan. So this one happens to be a Miami business, which is kind of interesting. And we can see that date is 2020. It gives us the address. I'm not going to read through the whole business plan. Executive summary, industry analysis, we're scrolling through, market analysis. So let's look here. The firm had also identified several leading U.S. companies as key players in the market. And now it has a list. And we're going to use another source to look at key players as well. The following international firms were named as leaders. Has another list. And then I'm scrolling through here, products and services. Leveraging the owner's extensive experience in the technology industry, Blockchain Advantage helps organizations, and it has a list here. Process, information products, fees, personnel, growth strategy, year 1, year 2, year 3, marketing and sales. Blockchain Advantage has identified the following tactics to grow the practice during its formative years. And in addition to the aforementioned tactics, Blockchain Advantage will submit case studies, articles, and blog posts to the following publications. And it has a list of publications. Next, the firm also will focus on building relationships with key professional associations, including, and it has a list of associations. Now we're getting into financial analysis. So, this is something that you could email to yourself. You could put an audio format. You could download it. Does anyone see anything here, regardless of what business you're in, that would be helpful to you? Okay. So I'm glad. So I showed you a sample business plan. There are many in here that you saw I just went by keyword. You can go by geographic region. So You can also get a template. If you're starting a business, this might be helpful. If you're refining your business, this might be helpful. If you're adding to your core business, maybe you're going to add another feature. Maybe you're going to add consulting. Maybe you just want some new ideas. So there can be a number of reasons why you would want to take a look at this. And this is available to you at no cost. So is anyone impressed with this product, even a little bit? Okay. Oh, and did I mention that this is available to you at no cost through the library system? Okay. All right. So let's go back. And I'm going back to the library website and learning and research. And the next service that we're going to look at, it gives you the ability to create a customized report in seconds. So you all can test me right now because that's what we're going to do. So this is demographics now, and I feel that since you all are super smart people, that it's better for me to actually do it and show it to you rather than give you lots of narrative, since time is of the essence. So I hope that that's comfortable with everyone, what's happening. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to demographics. There was a mention earlier about the topic of funding and asking for money. So sometimes you need to have a report readily available. You may also be looking at site planning and want to know your market. There are many different ways that you can use this. If you wanted to run a report by zip code and find out how much people spend at the local convenience store annually on snack products, you could do that. And you could compare it to another zip code in the country. So to me, this is fascinating. I love running reports. I love looking at all these numbers and comparing everything. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to run an executive summary report with charts. And we're not going to do the entire U.S. We're in Winter Park, so let's do Winter Park. We could do anywhere, but let's go ahead and do Winter Park. Thank you, Rollins College. I love meeting here. It's fantastic. So, okay, location set. And I'm going to click Run Report. So anyone wants to look at their phone or a stopwatch, I'm clicking Run Report. And we'll see how many seconds maybe Scott's doing. Okay, it's up.
5.5 seconds.
Okay, and it's dated. So we have Winter Park. That's what we selected. It's dated. And now we're going to look at the report. We could download it. We can print this. And I want to show you just a couple things with this report. So maybe initially you're reading some of the numbers, which is always very interesting, right? And you'll notice it has historical information, it has current estimate, and it has projection. Can anyone see a reason why you would want to have all three? Okay, especially the projection, right? So are there going to be people who are going to buy your product in the future? What does the demographic look like? Okay, so here it's giving us age, it's giving us race and ethnicity. Sometimes when you're asking for money, this is a factor, especially maybe if you're serving a certain market. And then scrolling down, income. Is income important?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I hope you all felt that this was fairly easy to generate this report. Yes? Okay. Everyone's good so far? Yeah, okay. And we just did one report, but if you saw the drop-down menu, we can do a number of reports of all different types, depending on what industry you're in or what your interest is. So there could be many different reasons to look at these. We could do maps. So we'll take a look at some others. I would note that some people do pay a lot of money for customized demographic reports. I don't know if you have done that, but
Oops. Like screen.
is it just a screen?
Yeah, just click cancel.
Yeah, just did.
Let's see, where did the screen go?
Well, I'm sure you get it back.
F11?
So
Oh,
that,
there we go.
that was demographics now. The next one that we're going to look at is something that many of you are already familiar with, which is Reference USA. Their new name, if you don't know, is Data Axle Reference Solutions.
Time for one more.
One more. No. It depends on how long I spend on each one.
Well, what they need to do is visit you at the library.
Yeah. I'm
That's
going to
the
do
follow-up.
three. I'm going to do three. So we'll go quickly. So Reference USA, now Data Axle Reference Solutions. They asked us to keep their old name up because that's what most people know them by. You can access this, and you have full access to all of the databases that you see here. So someone go, wow, because that's really great. So the library pays for all of them. So how many of you here would be interested in looking at new businesses? Yeah. Okay. How many of you would like to know who your competitors are at no cost? Okay, let me show you how to do that. I've been informed I only have time. I only have so much time. So we're going to do a quick look here. So take a look, see if this comes up. Oh, not this. I will mention, well, okay, I'm going to go quickly. So Correct Craft. So that's an Orlando business. I just put in the name. It came up. I'm clicking this on, and we are getting a lot of information. I usually do the advanced search because that's the best. That's where you get everything. And we have their SIT code, their NAICS code. You can go by keyword. You can go by name. You can create lists, just like you like to look at the book of lists. You could create your own list, which is really fantastic. You can do that with businesses. You can do that with consumers. And so we're scrolling through here. We have their corporate sales volume here, their location type. And then this was last updated July 2022. And then I'm scrolling down here and I'm looking at who are their competitors. I'm clicking this on, and now it's listing who their competitors are. And I can click this on and I can get the same with their competitors. Now, for those of you who want to know who your competitors are, you can check to see if your company is listed in here. You could do that right after. If it's not, you can call their toll-free number and you can say, how do I get my business listed? Do people pay to be in here? No. So I've been to their headquarters and I've seen them doing research. It's sort of like going to UCF Research Park. You get badged to go in, and then you go through multiple rooms, and you see people doing all sorts of research online, in print. And if you want to look up who this company is, then I would suggest you look at who their primary company is, which is Court Square Capital Partners, and look at all the different businesses that they own. And that will give you more information. So was this fairly easy? Yes. Okay. Fantastic. All right. And I have time to do one more because it's 9:53. So the one I want to show you next is, I hope everyone's super alert, Standard & Poor's Net Advantage. I skipped over Morningstar Investment Research Center, but you all can look up that on your own. It's super user-friendly, and I think everyone here would know why they wanted to look at a company report prepared by an industry analyst at no cost to you, right?
Great.
Okay, so right now we're in Standard & Poor's Net Advantage, and we're going to quickly look up a company we just looked at. It was an Orlando company, and it comes up. And I think the name Standard & Poor's should be fairly familiar to a lot of business people here, right? Okay. So here it's listing all the information that you have access to. Now in Reference USA, they call them competitors. Here they call them peer analysis. It's a little more friendly, but either way. You can get detailed information about the professionals, who the people are, what boards they're on, what conferences they're going to. Would that be helpful?
Absolutely.
Okay, so good to take a look. You'll also find out some of the key developments, maybe who has just given them money, where they're getting those agreements from. And I want to show you something else, the industry surveys. So everyone here is in an industry, right? Which means it would be very helpful to take a look at what is happening in your industry. You have free access to all the industry surveys that you see here.
Amazing.
And, okay, I was waiting for that. So, for instance, if I was in the insurance industry, I could immediately load the report, and I could take a look. This is the June 2023 report for life and health insurance. Okay, this is telling me industry snapshots, key industry drivers, industry trends, how the industry operates, and how to analyze a company in the industry, and then at the end, comparative company analysis. So this report is prepared by an independent research company. And at the end here, we're going to look at a glossary. We're going to look at a list of industry references, contacts, and a comparative company analysis. Would this be a benefit to you in your industry? Okay. It's 9:56, so I'm not over time, and I'm cutting it short. So thank you all very much for your attention.
Maybe a quick question, if I can, and we are going to have to kind of look, but for those who don't have a library card, or for those who are not in Orange County, what method, like, if, you know, I know that there's relationships with Seminole or Osceola County. Can you give us just a really brief on how to get a library card if you don't have one, and what other people in Central Florida might be able to utilize with the Orange County Library System, or how they might be able to do it if they don't have a card?
Okay, Learn, Grow, Connect. So learn how to do it. Go to our website and go to using the library. You can sign up online. If you don't live in Orange County, then you have the option of getting a fee card, which is a $125 annual fee. I don't know if any of you have ever priced an industry survey, but you could go online and do a comparative analysis and price an industry survey or a database service that you're going to do on your own. And then, okay, and then the other question is
other counties.
Other counties, you can check with your county and see what they offer.
Yes, thank you for your presentation.
Oh, you're welcome.
Does library have an access to the databases like Scopus?
Scopes?
Scopus.
Can you spell that?
Or PubMed.
PubMed.
PubMed, Scopus. I see it's the same principle. This is for business, but I'm interested in this.
Which
whatever you're looking for, it's there.
So
it's normally in academia, but I'm surprised that it's.
Well, we are a public library, so all of the services that we offer are to serve our public, to be quite honest. And I didn't mention this, but you know, the library is funded by taxpayers. So if there's something that you feel that we should have, there's a suggested title on our website. You can suggest that the library purchase it. They're going to look at what do we already have in our collection that meets that need. And I didn't go through all the business databases today, so we have a lot. I have to stop. No.
Is there a video, like tutorial series or something like that, of how to use the resources, like kind of like what you just went through?
There are a number of them. for each service. If you didn't notice, the library is paying for some of the top databases in the world, to be quite honest. The Morningstar, Standard & Poor's, these are big names. So most of the companies have created their own tutorials. Did you all find this to be fairly easy, though? Yeah. I see questions. I'm not sure what Scott wants me to do.
Be brief. Just real quick, it's just more of a statement. The other cool thing is you get the library cards Overdrive. I don't know if you guys use it, but if you have a Kindle or any kind of reader, like you can borrow books for free. So like all the latest, business books that are out, you get it for free.
Okay, last question in the back row. Yeah, speak up, please.
Oh.
Okay, so I think she's asking, can you return a book from one library to another? So if you're in Orange County, and I don't know if I didn't mention this, but Orange County has branches throughout the county, and we're working on getting more. We're at Horizons West and Lake Nona. Thank you, community, for supporting us. So, if you check out a book at the Chickasaw Library and you happen to be downtown and you say, oh, I want to drop it off in the drive-up book window, yeah, you can return it to any Orange County library. That's fine. If you're in Brevard, you don't want to bring a Brevard book to Orange County and turn it in. I mean, we'll be nice about it. We'll try and track it down for you and see, get it. But yeah, so you'll want to return the library book to whatever library it is. So if it's Orange County, then all the branches of Orange County, you can return them.
Okay. Normally we ask the speaker, how can the community help you? But I'll tell you, Jane, when you should take time to visit Jane in the library. Take the time, because it will save you, with all these resources, it will save you months of research. And then, yeah, go ahead, Jane.
Please tell other people about us, because your property taxes are paying for these services, and we want you to use them. So thank you all so much for supporting the library. Thank you.
Okay. Well, on the slide deck, it says next week, Bernd is presenting. Very good.
I'm anxious. It will be
Really?
time.
Ready to go? If you are in the online Zoom connection right now, remember to download the chat if you would like to before the meeting ends. And Rupert has an announcement.
So thank you all for coming again. It's wonderful to see so many excited entrepreneurs and supporters in the system at 1 Million Cups. So another organization, for those of you who don't know, I have Orlandopreneur, and we started in December, and we're going to have 1,000 members by the end of this month. And we have a happy hour the third Monday of every month. And so 10% of the people who attend are investors. We have 40% that are service providers and mentors and people that you need to meet that can help you with your business. And then the rest are all other entrepreneurs and startup founders. And they're the best source of inspiration, of opportunity, and everything else that you need. I buy the first drink. It's the first Thursday, the third Monday of each month. So next Monday, we're going to be at Persimmon Hollow Brewing Company, which is on the corner of Roslyn and North Lake Eola. Okay, free parking, and yeah, we usually get about 120 people. So go up to meetup.com/Orlandopreneur, and you can join the group and RSVP there. So I hope to see you all there Monday night.
Very good. All right, well, that's a wrap. Oh, Tim, a quick
Please
message.
take your cups and put them in the dumpster here before you help us out a little bit. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you all for joining us today. Remember to put these things into practice. Arrange coffee with someone, and we'll see you again next week.